You know, we spend decades, literally our entire lives, building a reputation. We take pride in our discipline, we stick to our ethics, and we sleep soundly because we have a clean conscience. But here is a terrifying question for you. Isn't it crazy how a lifetime of building can be completely demolished by a single moment of weakness? Have you ever really thought about how small the distance is between being a hero and becoming a villain? Sometimes it's just one unchecked impulse away. Today's story is a bit of a mirror for all of us. It reveals a harsh reality that we don't like to talk about. Virtue isn't a permanent badge you earn once and keep forever. It's a daily battle. Even the most righteous spirit can be poisoned if you leave the back door of your mind unlocked. Let's set the scene. Imagine a bustling, humid port city. In the middle of all this chaos lived a porter named Elias. Now, Elias wasn't known for his brute strength. He was famous for two things: his extreme poverty and his unbreakable pride. While other porters were skimming off the top, stealing cargo, or overcharging confused travelers, Elias was different. He worked for copper coins, ate stale bread, and slept on a thin straw mat. Why? Because he truly believed that a clean soul was worth way more than a full belly. He was the guy you'd trust with your life, even if he didn't have a penny to his name. One humid evening, Elias is absolutely wrecked. He's put in 12 hours of back-breaking labor with almost nothing to show for it. He's trudging back to his shack, probably dreaming of food, when suddenly, a voice calls out from the deep shadows of a warehouse. "Young man, do you have the strength for one last job?" Elias turns around and sees an elderly merchant. This guy looks frail, leaning heavily on a cane, and standing next to him are three heavy iron-bound chests.
The merchant says, "I need to transport these to the upper district. My carriage wheel broke and I cannot leave these here. I can carry the smallest one, but the others are too much for my old bones. Help me, and I will pay you 5 silver pieces." Elias hesitated. 5 silver pieces? That's huge money for him. But he was exhausted. Still, the economy is the economy, right? He nodded. "I will help." Elias steps up to hoist the first chest onto his back, and his knees nearly buckle under the pressure. "This is incredibly dense," he groaned, trying to find his balance. The merchant just smiled faintly. "It is filled with raw copper ingots from the southern mines." Despite the crushing weight, Elias marched alongside the old man. But as they walked, the vibe got weird. Elias could feel the merchant's eyes boring into him, watching his every move. "Are you worried I will drop it?" Elias asked, trying to break the tension. "No," the merchant replied coldly. "I am watching to see if you are looking for a dark alley to disappear into." Elias was immediately offended. This hit his pride hard. "I am poor, sir, but I am not a criminal. I earn every coin with sweat, not deceit." They kept walking until they reached the steep stairway, the literal dividing line between the slums and the wealthy district. The merchant stopped, completely breathless. "I cannot make this climb with a burden," the man wheezed. "You must carry the second chest as well. I will pay you 10 more silver pieces." Elias agreed, but as he reached for that second chest, the merchant grabbed his wrist tight. "This chest contains silver bars. It is worth more than you will earn in 10 years. Can I trust you not to vanish into the crowd?" Elias pulled his hand away. Now he was actually insulted.
"I once found a captain's wallet full of gemstones and returned it without taking a single shard. Do not insult my honor." Satisfied, or at least pretending to be, the merchant let him load the second chest. Elias started climbing the stairs. The physical pain was immense, but his integrity was fueling every step. He was proving a point. They finally reached the top of the stairs, entering a quiet, foggy park just before the mansions. The merchant collapsed onto a bench, gasping for air. He was done. "I need to rest," the old man whispered. "But the delivery cannot wait. The final chest. You must take it to the manor at the end of the lane." "I will carry it," Elias said, reaching for the third box. "Wait," the merchant warned, his voice serious. "This chest is filled with rare diamonds. It is a king's ransom. If you run, I am too weak to chase you." Elias snapped. He was tired of being doubted. "I told you, I am an honest man. I do not steal." The merchant looked deep into his eyes, searching for something. "Very well. Take it. I will catch up." Elias walked away, leaving the old man on the bench. He was now alone in the foggy lane. Just him, the silence, and a literal fortune on his back. And that is when the whisper started. You know the one. It started small. "He is an old fool. He doesn't even know my name." Elias kept walking, trying to shake it off, but the thought grew louder, more aggressive. Why should he have diamonds while I have nothing? I am young. I am strong. With this, I could buy a ship. I could be a captain. I could have a wife, a warm bed, respect. The logic of greed is powerful, isn't it? It started rewriting his morality in real time. He has lived his life. I am just starting mine. Fate gave me this box. It's not theft. It's destiny. Overcome by this sudden fantasy of a new life, Elias turned away from the manor. He made his choice. He bolted into the woods, running until his lungs burned. He didn't stop until he reached a secluded cave, his heart pounding with the thrill of his new wealth. With trembling hands, he grabbed a rock and smashed the lock of the diamond chest. He tore it open, ready to be rich. He froze. It wasn't diamonds. It was filled with common river rocks. Panic set in. He frantically opened the silver chest. Bricks. Just red clay bricks. He ripped open the copper chest. Sand. Confused, angry, and humiliated, he kicked the chests over. That's when he saw it. A folded parchment fluttered out of the final box. Elias picked it up. The handwriting was elegant, and the message hit him like a physical blow. It read, "I am the head of the Merchants Guild. I have no children to inherit my trade empire. I have spent months looking for a partner, someone with the strength to carry burdens and the integrity to carry my legacy. Had you delivered this to my door, the empire would have been yours." Elias fell to his knees. The silence of that cave was deafening. Think about this. He had been honest for 30 years. He had returned lost wallets. He had worked hard. But in the one moment that truly mattered, he let a single poisonous thought take root. He traded a kingdom for a box of rocks. This story is a warning for all of us. Elias wasn't a bad man in the traditional sense. He was a good man who failed to guard the gates of his mind. The thought, "no one will know," was the seed. The justification, I deserve this was the water, and the action was the poisonous fruit. There is an ancient proverb that says the rust ruins the iron from within. In the same way, our lives are not usually destroyed by external enemies, but by our own uncontrolled thoughts. So, remember this. Watch your thoughts, for they become your words. Watch your words, for they become your actions.
Watch your actions, for they become your habits. And watch your habits, for they surely become your destiny.
If you want to build a life of true value, you have to be the guardian of your own mind. Do not let a moment of weakness burn down a lifetime of effort. If this story made you think, please hit the like button and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay vigilant, stay honest, and keep moving forward.